I've just finished my appointment with the doctor. I need to sign out and pay and do whatever I need to do to
Sure.
get going with my day.
Great. Do you have your folder from your?
Here you go.
Okay, it's about $20 your copay.
Here you go.
Would you sign that
Thanks a
for
lot.
me?
Oh, you got to sign? All right.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks.
A week later.
Ring, ring. Ring,
Hello,
ring.
Dr. Jones' office.
Hi, my name is DJ Lovelace. I'm here to make a follow-up appointment to see the doctor.
Okay. DJ, when were you in last?
I was in last week, last Tuesday, I believe.
Tuesday. Do you remember the time?
Around 10 o'clock.
Oh, I see you here. Okay. And when would you like to come in?
Anytime next Thursday works for me.
Okay. How about noon?
Sounds good, thanks.
Okay, sure. See you then.
Bye.
Okay, cut. DJ, I'm going to ask your character, and anyone else in the audience can feel free to ask the character. Yes.
I thought I was volunteering, I'm sorry. I got excited.
What's
I
that?
thought I was volunteering for something, I got excited.
Oh, okay. DJ, I'm curious, what did you want out of that first meeting? What was your motivation? And again, we've deliberately changed the metaphor from someone in a school to someone in a doctor's office. What's part of your motivation here?
My motivation that first time was one, to get out as quick as possible. I had a long day ahead of me, I had work to get back to, so I wanted to accomplish what I needed to pay my bill and get out.
Okay. What happened in the telephone conversation?
In the telephone conversation, I needed to make another appointment, and obviously when I called back, it was like I was calling for the first time and making a completely new appointment.
Okay, and Ashley, your character. And again, we distinguish, it's not DJ, it's not Ashley, it's the characters that we're playing based upon the conversation. Ashley, I'm curious about your character. How would you define your job?
She's busy.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of patients to tend to.
Yeah.
Dr. Jones is the only doctor in the office, so that sometimes makes scheduling difficult.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I was busy and just trying to make sure I was doing what I needed to do for him.
Are there some patients you remember more than others?
Yeah, I would say so. People I see regularly,
Okay.
who she sees regularly, or
And a question to the audience is, well, when we go to medical appointments, dental appointments, all of those types of appointments, how do we find our entry? You know, are there some receptionists we know that makes the entry easier? There is a gatekeeper aspect to this, or sometimes a power relationship on either side. So I'm curious how people find their entries without necessarily naming names. How is the initial entry received?
I mean, doctors' offices in general
Yes.
create a vestibule for people to be held almost as a bullpen
Okay.
before you're kind of ushered in. So there's a natural barrier there. Usually you can't see them. It's
Okay.
almost a drive-through window, when you're peering into the actual receptionist or whoever this particular gatekeeper
So
is.
when we make a phone call, when we call a school or a principal or people we want to work with, there is a gate here, and how do we get beyond that gate? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give a personal story without revealing anything. There was a school where I work in Ontario that the principal asked to meet with me to set up a collaborative project. The meeting was canceled 5 times. And every time I called, she said, well, call back in 15 minutes, call back in 20 minutes. Whenever I called, I was stopped here and never got beyond this particular gate. Yet it was the principal, in my particular situation, who was continually saying, well, call back, we need to set up a meeting, et cetera, et cetera. And I know schools are very busy lives. And I know there could be a brush fire within the 5 minutes between those two. So, but the question is, how do we begin to just start the conversation from this particular gate? So I'm going to rewind the scene.
Or me.
Yes, I'm going to rewind the scene, but before we start, any suggestions to DJ's character on how this initial entry could be broached to bridge more than trip him up?
Or someone could come up and show me a few.
Can come up and try another one? Not yet. You have to warm an audience up a little bit for that one, but every once in a while. You said you wanted to volunteer?
I got a little results. I think I'm gonna watch a few more.
That's fine too. Any thoughts?
You should introduce yourself.
All right.
I mean, at least say your name
Yeah.
and you know, make eye contact. You know,
Right.
you're a little quick out the door. You know, can't remember someone from behind as well.
Or ask her how she is too. Some comment about how are you doing? Oh, it seems like you're really busy today. Something.
Yep, so let her know that you recognize that she may have things she's doing. In her mind, that would be a priority, and that you haven't placed your priority over hers, and you might get a little better reception that way.
All right. Actually, it would.
I'll see if I can remember all.
Yeah, I know, and you can give and take the variables of that, but I'm thinking back to the lunch we had together, it's the first time I lowered a tip in a long while, because it was, here's your bill, and she immediately went to another table to do something else. I just felt that, in my perspective, was rude. It was just one of those, next, and I lost that interpersonal thing. And maybe we're too rushed as a society, that we lose that humanity and that connection. And maybe that's something else to explore in relation to entry. So we're going to replay it with all of those new insights. Ready? Play.
Ding.
Hi.
I'm DJ Loveless. I just finished my appointment with the doctor. I need to check out.
Oh, sure. Do you have your folder?
Sure,
from
sure.
doctor's
Here you go.
office? Okay, thanks, DJ.
You
Thanks.
seem really busy today.
Yeah, you know, it's just kind of one of those days. Dr. Jones is a pretty popular doctor, so we get a lot of people in.
And a
So
lot of people moving in and out, it seems
yeah,
like.
definitely.
And pause and relax. I'm going to come here and I'm going to ask Ashley's character, what was your inner dialogue this time that was different than the other one?
He caught me a little bit off guard by saying, you know, it looks like it's a little busy here today. I was kind of just straight for the paperwork, and so I went back to him and looked back into his eyes after he said that.
Okay. DJ, we rehearsed this, and this is the first time he did it this way to answer your question. The other one, he talked about the weather, he talked about the umbrella.
It was raining, and I was like, oh, it's raining outside. And, yeah.
Did this one work better?
I think this one felt more natural. It felt, if I was in Ashley's position, I talked about the weather, it would be like, this guy's like reaching for something to talk about.
Buttering me up.
Right.
It was an expression we used as part of the research as opposed to genuine.
And this one seemed to be acknowledging that she is really busy. And so it was more of an acknowledgement on my part that she's busy, other than, you know, wasting time talking about the weather, perhaps.
Right, something that was, like you said, her in her arena.
If I start talking about the weather, she's like, I can't deal with the weather right now. I'm trying to get this guy out of here. Yeah, so I like.
But yes, I am too busy, so I'm happy to talk about being too busy. Yeah, okay. Other thoughts, questions? I continually, as we get warmed up, more and more people are open. So, but I like to keep creating those spaces for others to come in. So I'll pause for 5 seconds. That's way over a New Yorker's wait time, but.
Perhaps this is just the pragmatist in me,
Yeah.
but the first time, DJ's in a hurry, she's in a hurry. What's the intention of trying to slow things down and actually have those interactions if they both functionally need to be in a hurry and get out the door?
From my point of view, the next meeting then takes longer. If I take the time to develop a relationship here, perhaps the next time I call, she'll be more understanding, working with my schedule when I have an appointment to make something like that. That's what I think about when I have, in my own dentist office, I try to develop a relationship with not just the doctor but the receptionist as well,
Yeah.
so that they're understanding of my schedule and things. And now she says, "Oh, you work at the university." She knows that I can't have an appointment at a certain time of day. She knows next semester my schedule will be different. And so she'll say things like, "Oh, I know next semester your schedule is different. maybe we can do these couple of times, just let us know which one works.
But also your point of view is as legitimate as this one. So we're never, and that's why we enter with dialogue rather as opposed to saying this is our one answer. Because there are multiple answers. I've been in a bank line recently where the person in front of me had this great conversation about personal issues with and I was waiting behind. So when and where is that? Where do we? And I think each of us is going to read it differently and have our different impressions from it. And as I said, the tip was lowered because I felt too rushed. So where is that? And each one's going to be different. But with the entry in relation to schools, sometimes it is that personal assists us in moving on. Maybe, not always. Yes.
In terms of being rushed, he took about the same amount of time coming. Instead of asking about the umbrella of the ring, he said, "You seem really busy." If the receptionist character was busy, he would react like, "Yes, I am very busy." He would have known not to go into any more detail. But since he did open up to that did open up that communication, which would result in better things. But if she had come off like, "Yes, I'm very busy," you would have known to get back to business, as you were saying over there, and just keep going to back to business. But over time, keep building with that sort of introduction, letting you know that you're empathizing.
Okay, so let's play it that way. And then there's two issues. Well, I would almost like to rewind and go back to whether to ring the bell or not. There's a whole lot of inner dialogue. We're not going to do that.
Well, I had inner dialogue at that moment.
Well, you did?
Yeah.
Tell us what it was quickly.
Well, I mean, if I
Quickly, hurry up.
and I could stand there and wait for her to turn around, or I could ring the bell. The ringing the bell is a little bit more of like, I'm here, deal with me, or I could just wait patiently. And so I thought
Or
about
impatiently.
Wait impatiently, right.
Yeah.
Or you could have said something instead of ringing
That's
the bell,
right.
Excuse me.
which is a human connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewind it, but fast forward it to the point you seem to be busy, and I'm going to ask you, say, yes, what would you like? In other words, another aspect is, yes, I am, thanks for acknowledging, but I'm that busy that I don't want to go any further than this, which could also be a natural one.
All right.
Right? Play.
So you seem to be very busy today.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. Here, will you sign this thing, please? Thanks, have a good one.
Hope your day gets better.
Thanks.
And DJ,
Yes.
what's your feeling on that? Your character's feeling.
My character's thinking, wow, she's pretty stressed, and that's all I thought about. I didn't really think of her being in a negative light. As such, wow, she just must be under a lot of stress, and that's a bad place to be. I've been there before.
So
myself.
you're acknowledging where she is, and you're responding to where she is, as
Right.
opposed to over forcing your agenda.
Right. If that happened to me, I'd just be like, wow, sorry you feel so stressed out, but I'm not going to have a conversation with you. You got a lot of work to do.
Okay. Which comes back to your question earlier in relation to the adversarial. How much do we force our own agenda onto one another? And the work that we've done in bullying in schools, what we found is there's a lot of low-level bullying, and the way we phrase it is, how do we use, misuse, and abuse our power? And abuse is you're doing something wrong, and you continue to do it. But a lot of what we've found out in schools, there's a lot of misuse of power. We do it and we don't know that we're doing it. One young woman came up to me at another school and said, I didn't realize I was a bully till I saw your play. Because, and I think we all are in some ways, in our rushes, or maybe to forcing one agenda on another. That's where that adversarial thing comes in. So recognizing our own expectations, perhaps, and then trying to find what I talked about with the student teachers yesterday, finding those negotiated spaces. Again, easier said than done, and that's what we're trying to begin to explore on just this little topic of research entry. So, we'll end this thing. Thanks very much.